Hello and welcome to another episode of the Movie Garage. We're up to episode 17 now. Just checked 3 times, managed to remember the 4 seconds before I press record, which is quite impressive for me, to be honest. Not too much to report on the home front. I'm off work, so I'm drinking again. I'm Jay, the host, by the way, and this is Gary. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm good. I'm glad to be back, actually. Back filming, so.
Yeah, exactly. We've got quite a bit to get through. Got a few movie reviews to do after this as well. So, yeah, it's going to be fun, a bit of catching up. Right, getting straight into it because there's quite a lot to be touching on this week. Weekend just gone was DC Fandome, the event that we've been bagging on about on a few episodes of this. It was basically a virtual comic convention where DC did a load of panels and they did basically dropped a lot of spoilers, dropped a lot of new information about films, movies, games, TVs, a lot of new adverts and stuff like that going forward. And it was mega. It was a really good 24 hours. Did you manage to catch any of it?
I caught like a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch too much of it, especially with it being a Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't kind of catch too much of it. I tried to jump in at a few bits, and like you said, the way that they kind of done it was actually kind of mega.
It was amazing. It really filled the gap for me because I go to like about 8 or 9 comic conventions a year normally and see loads of people and try and get to a few as an actual punter to do panels and stuff. This really filled the gap. Everything that they did was just so slick and stuff. But like you said, man, it was a Saturday night. It kicked off for us because we're in the UK. For anybody who's watching anywhere else, kicked off for us at 6 p.m. And then I think what it was, it went on for like 8 hours and then was repeated again and again and again over the 24 hours. So we could have caught it on the Sunday and stuff like that, but it was a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, there was some really good shit. Jason Momoa didn't turn up for any of it. Do you know Aquaman?
Yeah. Was there any reason for that? You just didn't bother turning up to it?
Apparently there is, but it's a little bit hush-hush at the minute, so something's definitely going on there, which is really surprising because all the shit that's going on with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp at the minute, you would have thought it would have been like her who they were trying to like hide and be a bit hush-hush, and the pair of them just didn't show up.
Right.
Really weird.
Well, that's kind of interesting, but there was kind of some whispers coming out that he was getting a little bit fed up with it all.
Yeah. I think it's a bit weird, isn't it? Especially with all this Snyder stuff that's going on at the minute. Everybody's shouting at each other. It seems quite bitter and a bit backbitey. So I think he just wants to be like, I'm staying out of it. You need me to act in it? I'll come and do that. Otherwise, get stuffed. So he didn't show up for the Snyder Cut panel or for the Aquaman 2 panel, which is really interesting. Pretty much everybody else who's been in a DC movie ever was there, though. It was incredible for each of the panels. Just going back to Aquaman, have you seen the first film?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was all right. I don't think it was as good as the hype. Like he's brilliant, Aquaman, but I think around that period of time with Aquaman when it kind of came out, along with other stuff we're going to talk about, like Batman, Superman, and all that kind of stuff, or Justice League, I don't think they hit them kind of films on the money.
Yeah.
When like Marvel was hitting film after film after film, they just seemed to be getting it right. There was always something in the DC ones around that period of time with nothing. I don't think quite.
It didn't gel as well as it was supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the movie in itself was quite light, wasn't it? It was all like big bright colours and like mad special effects and stuff. I think it worked really well, and like you say, Momoa was amazing in it. Apparently the second one, they've not really released that much information about it, but to say that it's going to take itself a lot more seriously and be obviously a little bit darker than the first one was. Yeah. So I think we're going to get like Batman vibes coming out of that. Undersea Batman vibes.
Well, it's like it's funny you said that we've not heard too much about it, because that's always been for me DC's problem is you hear too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So it gives you that expectation level of this is going to be incredible.
And you remember when when they were advertising Batman v Superman, they showed pretty much everything in those trailers, didn't they? There was
Yeah,
not one surprise whatsoever. You knew Wonder Woman was going to be in it. You knew Lex Luthor was going to be in it. You knew Doomsday was going to be in it. You obviously knew like Batman and Superman got into a fight. You knew why. It was just they pretty much explained everything in the ads, hadn't they?
and yeah, exactly, and it was pretty much all the best bits of the film.
Yeah, well, yeah. The three best bits of that film. But we'll get onto that later. I've got a lot stored up.
Yeah,
later on. Everything will become apparent, don't worry. But in relation to the movie and TV universe, they did something very clever with this DC fandom. One of the main themes of the night was making sure that everybody knew that the DC Multiverse was coming into play now. Now, this was set up in the TV series, like the Flash and Supergirl and all that, how they did a big crossover.
yeah,
At the end of that, they confirmed that there was multiple worlds with multiple stories going on all at the same time. So now they've basically said that they can do anything that they want. Sometimes they might be related, sometimes not. Sometimes they might swap into different universes and change over and stuff, which I think is a brilliant move, because now they can do like loads of standalone movies and have them cross over. So it's like you've got Affleck's Batman and the Justice League and everything like that. And then you've got Robert Pattinson's Batman, which is taking place in an alternate universe, which is like it's going to be set as his second year in Batman. Have you heard any of this?
yes.
Yeah.
It gives it a bit of a different dimension, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah, does it? Have you seen that ad as well that they've released?
Yeah. So what's funny enough is that they nobody expected it
No, that was it.
because apparently they've already done
Yeah, I thought they might have been a sneak peek, but nobody expected a proper advert, did they?
a proper. You're very American with your advert.
Yeah, sorry, I've been watching a lot of Yank stuff today.
So I've watched a lot of reactions to this, and nobody knew that they were going to do a trailer to the film, because apparently they've only filmed about 40% of the actual film.
That's madness. So that must have been like nearly all they've filmed then that they showed in that ad.
And to deliver what they did was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. The only thing, and I get it, it's a multiverse, is that the only thing was like I've never seen or read anything a Bruce Wayne be so emo.
Yeah.
Because in the advert he looks very emo.
Long guy. Yeah, he looks mad upset all the time, doesn't he?
And I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah.
It's not how Bruce Wayne's meant. It's not how Bruce Wayne actually is. But the rest of it looked really cool.
Yeah, so like if you've not seen the advert, the main villain in it looks like the Riddler. We haven't actually seen him yet, but there's a bunch of murders and stuff that have been going on. There's question marks everywhere, and he keeps leaving little riddles. There's a gang of people that look like they're dressed as the Joker. Did you notice that? They all had like hoods on and the face painted with smiles and stuff, and he proper beats one down. I mean, he smashes him into the floor in the advert.
And you know what you say about this multiverse and stuff like that is, was it the 90s when there was a film with all these characters in it? The Penguin and the Riddler and
basically. So that was God, I can't even remember who played Batman in that one. So the Penguin made an appearance. Well, the Penguin made an appearance in the second Batman, wasn't it? Which was Michael Keaton. And that was like a direct follow-on from the original. The Penguin was in that, and Catwoman was in that as well. And both of those make an appearance in this trailer. You can't really recognize him, but Colin Farrell's playing the Penguin, and he's massive. He looks like twice the size as he is. His face looks completely different. It looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I caught that. So do people know who was actually meant to be in this? Like in terms of the characters, or do we know who's playing Riddler and stuff?
To a point, I don't think Riddler. I think it was a shock to me. I didn't know. I didn't even hear that the Riddler was going to be in this movie. Whether other people did or not, I'm not sure. Catwoman had been announced. She features quite heavily in the advert as well. Commissioner Gordon had been announced as well. I like that. He's a really good choice for Commissioner Gordon. I can't remember what his name is, but he's one of the main guys who was in that Westworld. If you ever watched that, and
Yeah.
he's absolutely brilliant. It looks like he's got a really interesting relationship with Batman as well at this point, doesn't it? It looks like they're kind of really working together. It looks like it's focused a lot more on the detective side of it. And it, like you said, it looks very dark. It looks very emo, and Patterson looks wicked.
Yeah, it's on me to be like early doors Batman too, which
Yeah.
you know it's quite interesting really, because if you're going to do a multiverse, start it from early doors Batman.
Well, yeah, that's it. So, like, I mean, all of them are going to be at different points in their careers, aren't they? So, another one of the major big announcements, which kind of broke the day before Fandom happened, is that it has now been confirmed that Ben Affleck is actually going to return as Batman after all this like naysaying and all this debate and all this kind of thing. He's definitely coming back as Batman in the Flash movie, and apparently he plays a really big part. And it's also been confirmed that Michael Keaton is returning in that same movie as Batman. So we're getting at least 2 Batmen. Does that work? 2 Batmans in that Flash film. So that is going to be, like you say, so like obviously Keaton, surely it's going to be carrying on his story arc from like the 80s. So he's going to have been doing it for so long. It says that Ben Affleck's Batman's been at least 20 years. He's lost a Robin and all sorts in the meantime, and he's quite dark and quite dangerous. It's been announced that Bruce Wayne designs the Flash's new suit. So they did a bit of a glimpse of that. Sorry, one of the dogs is going mad. Can you hear it barking outside?
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to. Were you into the Batman, like the 89 one and stuff? And the old Michael Keaton, really old ones?
I used to love them films. It's kind of what got me into Batman.
Definitely. It's one of my favourite movies. One of my favourite Batman movies, easy.
There's such a coolness of having a Batman back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like so fresh and so cool. And I think them kind of films made Batman so popular.
Yeah.
They really took off. They were kind of childhood favourites, actually.
Yeah, that was it. So unless you were mad into the comics, the only Batman that you'd really seen on the screen up until that point was the Adam West show, which is obviously a bit more of a comedy take on Batman because he dances, and when he hits people, you get the big pows and all that kind of thing, which is a brilliant TV show. That was definitely the first thing that I ever remember seeing as Batman. And then obviously next thing you get this dark, proper portrayal of the character. And that kind of, like you said, that spawned it all, really. I mean, without that, I don't think there would have been the cartoon or anything along those lines. And then everything that's gone on since then has just gone crazy. I mean, we're getting like 2 new Batman films within the next year or so. Snyder Cut's coming out next year, and that's going to have a load of new Batman stuff in as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's absolutely loads to look forward to towards Batman, because it's kind of stuttered a little bit from like the Dark Knight and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you expect it to really take off, and it's kind of interesting now. We've got loads of different versions of Batman and a couple of different films ready to come out, and I'm really interested to see which direction they start taking it all.
Well, that's the really interesting thing, like I say. So they were really drumming it home about this multiverse, and to make sure that everybody knew that this was the way that we were going with it. So it is all connected, with it all being not connected, which is an absolutely genius move if you think about it. Marvel are just about to go into that now. So like the next phase of Marvel, after it's been going for like 11, 12 years, their next phase is going to be a multiverse. So they're about to start opening it up after 10 years of going and having this one long continuous story, because they've realized that once they do that, they can do anything. Then they can bring back any characters that have died. They can have like different takes on all your favorite characters and all that kind of thing. And that's how DC have started. So it's pretty amazing. But now, like you said, there's been so many different takes on Batman, but with them saying that, they can bring all these different takes back and have like different people interacting at different times. And Yeah, all playing off one another, so it's really exciting. I really want to see a decent Robin though, something that we've never seen yet.
Why
Really.
it got teased on?
Hmm.
Like, what was his name? Can't figure the name. The guy that played, he didn't quite play Robin as in the.
Yes. Was it
And he went,
Joseph
"What's your
Gordon
name? And
Levitt?
why don't you use your real name?" And he went,
Yeah,
"It's
yeah.
Robin."
Which was kind of like, oh, that did my head in that because I really wanted him to say Dick Grayson, who obviously is the kid who plays the first original Robin. I really wanted him to say my first name's Dick, but instead they just went Robin. It's like, God, just don't be so obvious. Just do this one thing for the
I
fans
know, but that
instead.
was quite good.
Yeah, yeah, it was very clever. Like I say, I just wish they'd said something different. But that, yeah, like it was teased, and it could have definitely. And now they've said what they've said. They still can't go back and be like. But the thing is, he stopped being Batman then, didn't he? So surely, like the idea then would be that he would take over as Batman. I want to see two of them. I want to see Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to, yeah,
exactly what I think. That would be like that'd be one for the fans that to
yeah,
do
that's it.
Batman and Robin.
The closest one that we've really got, like in like most recent canon, besides what you've just said, was there's a suit in Batman v Superman. There's a Robin suit in the case, isn't there? So Robin's been murdered. We don't know how, we don't know why. I mean, it says ha 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 across his chest, so you pretty much get the
Yeah,
idea that the Joker's killed him.
yeah,
But it's never been said which Robin it was or how long they were together or anything along those lines. And you never actually saw the pair of them together. It's just like it's kind of explained that this is the reason why Batman's such a bastard now. But that's it. I really, really want to see him do a really good Robin. Hopefully we get it in this movie, but I don't think so. It's called The Batman. I don't think they're going to be the Batman and the Robin. It's not like nothing's even been teased or anything. You know what they're saying around the internet at the minute? Everybody wants. Do you know the kid who plays number 5 in Umbrella Academy?
yes.
They want him to play Robin.
And
He'd
he's
be perfect.
yeah, he's
He'd be
terrific.
absolutely perfect. How are you getting on?
Oh, because
You've been watching that at the minute?
oh yeah, I think we'll definitely do a special on that because it's
Oh yeah.
incredible.
I think what we're going to have to do is like a TV show special because we've got The Boys season 2 is about to drop as well. In I think it's 2 weeks, and that comes out on
Yeah.
the 6th of September if I remember right. So like the big superhero TV series are back in force, and they're both just so good. Anyway, yeah, back to DC stuff. Yeah, like I say, really want to see a dead good Robin. The other like major thing to come out of it was the Suicide Squad panel, um, which was just insane. Is the cast is just ridiculous. There's about 20 of them.
So this is a bit of what I seen,
Right? Yeah.
and if it's true that James Gunn's going to what was mad about this is what he's saying about the special effects guy that
Mm.
works on all these films.
Yeah.
I think he's worked on all the Marvel films too.
Yeah, he's come across with him
Has,
from Guardians and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, has turned on and said he's used more special effects in this next film than all of the films he's done combined.
That's
And I was like,
ridiculous, isn't it?
how?
So
How?
at least 2 of the main characters in it are basically fully CGI. So there's Weasel, who is basically a weasel like that's the size of a dude, and there's King Shark, who's a great white shark but has legs and arms. So
Yes.
those are like fully CGI characters. But the cast is amazing. So I think there's only like 4 of them that are returning from the original. Did you watch the first Suicide Squad movie, that David Ayer one?
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it.
I think it kind of fell off a
think
cliff like 3/4 of the way through. When all the stupid CGI fighting starts at the end, it really goes shit. But before that, it's actually quite a stand-up movie.
Yeah, I agree with the ending part, but the rest of it was all right. And actually, I thought forget. I can't remember characters' names because I'm not as familiar with this. But
Yeah.
is it Will Smith's character? Is it
Deadshot.
Deadshot?
Yeah.
I thought he did all right.
Yeah, definitely.
But now they've changed
Unfortunately,
his.
well, that's it. You see, so there's been a scheduling conflict, and Idris Elba's come in, but he's not playing the same character. So this is definitely a follow-on from the first one. So the girl, Margot Robbie's still playing Harley Quinn. You've got Rick Flag, who was the leader in the first one. He's come over. Amanda Waller, she's played by the same woman. And Captain Boomerang, you know, the pissed up guy with the boomerangs, obviously. So those 4 characters, I think, are the only 4 that have come over from the first movie. And then they've just been joined by about, it must be like nearly 15 other characters. It's just a crazy amount of people that they've got in this show, in this movie.
It sounds like it's going to be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, but they're all like really big names as well. Like I say, Idris Elba. They're just massive. I can't even remember them. We've got them all on the website, and I'll share it again once we post this on Facebook. It's just looks like it's going to be absolutely crazy. It's a bit worrying that there are so many characters though, because that can end up as a bit of a mess.
Yeah, and I think it's where DC falls back, because like when you're watching Avengers, there's plenty of characters in there, but they tend to do it brilliantly, where everyone kind of plays their own part. Where I always feel like DC always struggle, and it's not like in Justice League. There's not like loads of characters. They're all big characters, and probably the biggest characters of any superhero films. Like when you put Batman and Superman together, they're the biggest characters for all I've known is in films, but they don't seem to get it when they're all gelled together. It just falls apart.
Yeah, that's it. It's a weird thing, isn't it? So like you say, when it comes to stuff like the Avengers, sorry, but the biggest spider in the world has just crawled out from behind my laptop and I can't stop looking at it. If it fucking jumps on me, I'm going to have one. Right, like seriously, dude, it is huge. I just know what you did that as you were talking. It just came up from like the side of your head, just there. It was slowly fading back. Yeah, sorry. So it's like so like when it comes to an Avengers movie, especially the big ones that we saw that ended it all, like Infinity War and Endgame, there were like 20-30 characters in there, all over the show. But the thing is, we'd been introduced to them before, and we'd had other movies that had maybe introduced 2 or 3 of them, and now it was like, well, you know this guy, now they're going to meet and do this. And it like you say, it's really, really simple. With this Suicide Squad film, there are 4 characters that we've seen before, and then there are like 10, 15 brand new characters, which all kind of need establishing, and they're not massively well known as well. I mean, like fans of it will definitely know people like King Shark and a couple of the others, but most of them, like no one's ever heard of them, and especially moviegoers won't have heard of them. So he's going to have to do a really, really good job of introducing each character and what they do, what their role is, what their personality is, and stuff like that. And trying to get screen time for so many of them is just going to be impossible.
Yeah. Am I the only one that thinks King Shark's a terrible character?
They did it. Did you see the Flash episodes with him in?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a novelty in it. I mean, it's really fun to watch him like just bite people's heads off and stuff. But besides that, it's just like, he gives a shit. Yeah, it's a big shark, but we're not really bothered. Did you happen to see the advert for the game, the Suicide Squad game that's coming out?
Yes, it looks really good.
Yeah,
so it's really good.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So they get sent on a secret mission to kill all the members of the Justice League. The advert shows them just about to fight Superman. And it's brilliant. It's genius the way that it's done it. Yeah. But it's got King Shark in that, and he actually seems really good in that.
Yeah, it does actually look really good. And So this is who we're supposed to kill, and it's a proper evil Superman.
Yeah, he just melts some guy he randomly picks up, doesn't he? Oh, it's genius. Yeah. Really, really, really good advert. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they progress with all that. Like you said, James Gunn's directing it. He said, and me and a friend of mine online had a bit of a discussion about this the other day. He said it was the best cast and the most fun in a movie that he's ever worked on. I was like, God, just imagine all the Marvel guys at home going, oh, good.
We're no fun.
Son of a bitch. Well, there was all the controversy came out about his tweets and stuff like that, and the point that my friend Hilton made online was not everybody in the Marvel camp stuck up for him. So it basically all the main guys at the Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt and Dave Bautista and oh my God, what's the girl's name? Karen Gillan and the other girl who plays Gamora. I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name.
No, it's totally gone. It'll come to me in about 3 seconds, I bet, when I start talking about something else. No, can't remember. All of those guys all really got behind him. And they were all tweeting the support and saying, yeah, he's a really nice guy. He made a mistake. He's owned up to it, blah, 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 blah. All the things you'd expect him to say. Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth just blocked him. Didn't speak up for him. Didn't speak to him. Apparently, they unfollowed him on all social medias and stuff like that. A very public, fuck you, we don't want anything to do with you anymore.
It's quite a bitchy world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's madness. But you've got to think though that those two are squeaky clean. The image that they portray is whiter than white, innit?
Yeah.
I mean, they seem quite nice dudes, but I don't think they'll just want to stay away from anything that's even remotely like that.
Yeah, I think the thing is that these guys play characters, and we pick up on what we see on screen, going, these aren't decent dudes. Yeah. We actually don't know in real life how serious they actually take stuff.
Yeah, that's
so.
it.
Like you say, if they're squeaky clean kind of people, then they'd easily just shun them off. Yeah. A lot of these people want to go through their careers and have no bother at all. So
yeah, because you've never heard a bad word said about any of them two, have you? If you think back, there's been no controversies about him. No, nothing even speaking to a fan wrong or anything like that. Something dead little that everybody gets shit for. They've never had shit for any of that. So they're obviously trying to cultivate that and trying to keep that as pure as possible. Which is stupid, because as soon as you do something little wrong, then everybody's just going to fucking pile on you. So you might as well just be honest and be a knob from the start. That's always been my plan.
Yeah, just like you say, just be yourself, because sometimes they might not be themselves.
Yeah, but that was a comment that I definitely picked up on during that panel. That he said it was the most fun ever movie and a cast that he'd ever worked with. I was like, oh God, man, he's literally about to go into Guardians 3 now. Now he's finished that, he's going into Guardians 3 straight away. Imagine how awkward that set walk on's going to be.
They're not bothered about them crossing over either, are they?
What, from different companies?
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it, isn't it? I mean, they're all freelance. So, you've got actors that are doing it. They're running here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
A few of them, really, really get on board and have a bit of a slagging match. Especially, I think Jason Momoa was one of them who came out and said, fuck Marvel at one point, didn't he? When all the Justice League stuff was first coming out. And then he managed to get a bit of banter going like that. But for the most part, they're just all freelance operators and they can do whatever they want, can't they?
Yeah.
So it was a genius move for me by DC that literally, I think it was about a week after Marvel fired James Gunn for 10-year-old tweets. They picked him up like that straight away. They were like, oh, this guy's amazing. Let's get him to do something. They offered him about 5 different things, apparently. They gave him a choice of all sorts. I think one of them was Superman. You know what I mean? So they gave him a choice of massive, massive franchise-defining characters. And he was like, no, the only one I'll do is the Suicide Squad. It's the only one I'm interested in.
They absolutely needed something like this, though.
Yeah, I think so.
It could be this can really make them.
Yeah, well, that Birds of Prey movie seemed to have fallen flat on its face because I haven't seen that yet. Have you watched it?
I've not seen it yet.
No, no. I'd be interested to have a look at it just out of sheer interest, but it's been pretty much universally panned from everyone as far as I could see. It's just basically like the Harley Quinn show with a few like good moments in, which again is a shame because it's a bunch of really good actresses that they picked up to do those to do all the other parts.
Yeah, it was. It actually looked quite decent, but I
Mm.
just not got around to watching it. Like, it just didn't grasp my imagination.
No, that's it. Exactly right. I think that was the problem. But this now, having like seen all the massive, incredible actors in and who they're playing and what they're going to do with it, it looks like it's basically going to be like an all-out war movie. If you've got a team of like anti-heroes that big, they've got to fight a threat that's like 3 times bigger than them, haven't they? So it's going to be something insane that they've got to go up against.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. Because
Mm.
otherwise, you're just going to be the bar's set. The bar's
Yeah,
been set by
yeah, and it does.
other movies.
Yeah, and it's like, well, it's either that or they're just going to be sat around having a discussion about costumes for an hour and a half, and then they're going to go on to the next one. It's a team meeting. There's so many there who've got to have an input that the team meeting just goes on for 2 hours, and everybody dies. Job done. Moving on. No, so I mean, they haven't really shown much footage. Like, because God, like John Cena's in it, Nathan Fillion's in it, Michael Rooker's in it. Like, he's got to be in everything that James Gunn's in now, I think. But the cast is amazing, and they haven't even announced any bad guys really yet. That's
No,
just the team of the Suicide Squad, so they're the good guys. They're the guys that are going to be fighting the bad guys. So God knows what else is going on. Full-on dogfight going on outside now. Ridiculous. Jesus. Only 1 hour, you tossers. Yeah, so very excited for Suicide Squad when that comes out. It'll be really interesting to see what they do with it. I'm a bit scared it is going to be a mess. It's just going to be like too many cooks, throwing them all in the deep end. But I think James Gunn's good. He knows what he's doing, hopefully.
yeah, I'm confident it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, last thing that we really need to talk about that was big from this DC stuff. Obviously, we're talking about all the TV shows and stuff like that. Pretty much just business as usual for them. It's I don't really watch any of them anymore. Do you watch any like The Flash or anything along those lines?
I've not watched Flash, Arrow, anything like that for
No,
ages.
no, me
I
neither.
think what's kind of happened is some really good TV shows have come from like Netflix or Amazon, and it's jumped in front of the Flash. I think I will find a way back to Flash and Arrow and the rest of, but I don't have the time for them right now.
See, it kind of screwed us, didn't it, being in the UK, because all of those, I think every single one of them now is on Sky Atlantic, apart from Batwoman. E4 in the UK got Batwoman, didn't it? And they started showing it about 2 months after everything else started on the Sky channels that they're on. Now, there was a major crossover halfway through the seasons of every single one of those shows. So they needed to start every single one of those shows at the same point. So that crossover worked because it flipped from show to show and was on for, I think it was like 2 weeks, but obviously it was about 8 or 9 episodes because of all the different shows that it ran through. And it really, really screwed us up. So you could see every single episode of the crossover, apart from the Batwoman ones, and you couldn't catch them for another like 2 months. Which is a bit of a pain in the ass. I think what they need to do is get it somewhere where you can just go, right, I want to watch the crossover, because that's when all these multiverses came into play. Like there's been stuff online about like the Flash's meeting. So Ezra Miller's Flash from the movies met Grant Gustin's Flash at the end of the episode, didn't he? And the pair of them were talking to one another because they actually played the same character, which was absolutely brilliant.
So I didn't see the crossover because I've got myself to a point where I need to catch up on like a season of Arrow before I can get to the crossover. And I can't, or Justice League and stuff like that. And I kind of want to line them all up, like you said.
Yeah, that's it. Because
and
obviously
watch them. So I've got it all lined up to go, right, watch the crossover exactly how I wanted it. That's going to take a lot of time to do that.
yeah,
And that's why I've just put it to one side for now.
No, that's the thing, innit? I think we've got to wait for them all to go on. It's probably going to go on Amazon, aren't they, at some point? So we're basically just going to have to sit back and wait for that. I hope they just do it. I won't mind just watching the crossover, because apparently it was amazing. All the stuff that they did and all the characters that they brought back into it, and even like little bits. So, like, have you ever watched Lucifer, the TV series about the devil?
No.
He's in it because that's a DC, based on a DC comic book as well.
All right. Okay.
He's in it at one point. He meets John Constantine. So there's loads of nice little bits that all like slot into together that I really, really want to watch. But like I say, because they screwed us over with Batwoman in this country, it was pretty much impossible for us to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
That was it. Yeah, so like I say, it's pretty much business as usual for all the TV shows side of things. There's a couple of new things happening. I think the Flash is on about series 15 million now, isn't it? So God knows, that's just going to keep going until one of us dies, I reckon. And then the Snyder Cut. So I purposefully couldn't bring myself to watch the Snyder Cut panel because I just think I would have lost the plot. Apparently, it was just like everybody stroking his ego and saying how brilliant he is for about 45 minutes. But I think they managed to get the whole cast there. So, like, Affleck was there and everybody along those lines. Oh, actually, we need to talk about Wonder Woman as well. That was another big thing. But, yeah, so the Snyder Cut, they released an advert for it, didn't they? You managed to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. It looks cleaner.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can physically see stuff. Because the actual film itself was dark, as in visually dark.
Yeah.
Whereas this looks so much cleaner. It looks like you can see some of the battles a bit better.
Mm.
You can see a little bit more of what Flash does.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yes, definitely.
But that was all really, wasn't it? I don't think there's too much more.
Not that much. Well, they showed us thingy, didn't they? They showed us Darkseid, who's gonna be the big bad guy.
Yeah.
So basically, he is. We saw Steppenwolf in the original cut, which was the guy with the big horns on his head. They've changed him in this one as well, so the CGI on him's a bit different. So he's going to look different than he looked in the Whedon version. But then basically, his boss comes down to kick some major ass, who is Darkseid. He didn't look that good. But then again, wasn't really expecting him to, because Doomsday in Batman vs Superman looked like shit until he leveled up. Then he started looking a bit better, but he still looked like a naked Ninja Turtle. This guy looks like a naked Ninja Turtle as well. If you see Darkseid in the comics and stuff along those lines, he looks like a proper full-on badass. But like I say, I wasn't expecting anything mega. We see Superman in his black suit a little bit, didn't we? Which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, which is cool. I like that. Which is cool. Which is fine. I'm glad, like you said, because I think because we've seen Steppenwolf in Wonder Woman films, and I'm glad they've added another baddie in there. I'm glad they've added his boss in there because it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Well, I think so. That was the plan all along. I think for like Snyder's vision, the major issue that he had was he has announced that this is 4 hours split over hour-long episodes. So, so his like original vision was like a 4 hour-long epic, ridiculous movie. Which is like, so it shows you how much footage they actually shot before he unfortunately had to hand the reins over. So they've obviously got a hell of a lot of stuff. A lot of the scenes that you see that kind of match up with the Whedon version also look a lot different. Like you said, you can see things a little bit clearer. Henry Cavill hasn't got like a stupid CGI face because he had a moustache at the time, didn't he? So he finished filming like Whedon's Snyder's version and then went away. Then obviously Whedon took over to finish off the movie and he had to come back for reshoots, but he was filming Mission Impossible at the time, where he was a bad guy. So he had a big, thick tash. So
Right.
he wouldn't let him contractually shave his mustache off. So if you look at some of the reshoot scenes in the Whedon's Justice League movie, the one that's out now, his face looks like Play-Doh. It doesn't look like him at all. It just looks ridiculous from down here. It's just crazy.
For this kind of film, it looks an absolute joke.
Yeah, that's it. It's you can't really be having like really daft mongy shit like that. The film that is like this epic. Quite excited about the fact that it is 4 hours long. I love it. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to enjoy the 4 hours, but there's a lot of it, so I'm kind of excited. I kind of dug the advert. I kind of liked it. I think anybody who is like massively overexcited needs to do what I did today and go back and watch Batman versus Superman and then go, oh, maybe it's not going to be that good. Maybe I should wait before I get really overexcited about it.
I know.
Yeah, definitely going to watch it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to watch it. It does look better, cleaner, just more polished off. And,
yeah, a hell of a lot more stuff happens as well. So because
definitely.
There was rumours that like Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern was going to show up and things like that. I'm pretty sure that that's all been quashed at this point. But yeah, so reasonably excited. The hype of it's managed to get Affleck back playing Batman, so I'm really, really happy about that.
Yeah, because what we seen, it was a mess and everything. Nothing went smoothly.
Yeah.
It was such a mess. But whether this looks like it's just filled in them gaps that we went, that I'm hoping it's putting stuff in there that we wanted to see originally.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, man. It's should be quite interesting. I think one of the main things is that it's a different way that they managed to bring Superman back, hence the black suit and stuff. That's got something to do with that. I think the relationships between the characters are going to be maybe a little bit different. Obviously, it's going to start kind of the same with Wonder Woman and Batman going around collecting all the other members that they found out about in Batman vs Superman. Sorry, I watched it today and it just makes me laugh the way that they find that out. We'll talk about that more later. But yeah, quite excited about it. And like, it's really interesting to me, and this is like one of the thoughts I had before watching that film. It's like it shows how good the actors are at playing those specific characters, that they can be in a really terrible, really shit, really poorly, badly written movie, but you still love them as those characters. I still love Ben Affleck's Batman. I still love Cavill's Superman, even though the things that I've seen him in, I've not been that big a fan of. So it's really interesting to me, and it speaks a lot to the actors. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them doing what they're doing. But yeah, I'll still reserve judgment, I think.
Yeah, that's the funny part is that I think the people that play these people like Wonder Woman and everything like that, they're all perfect for the roles.
Yeah. They just need the perfect film.
It blows your mind that they can't seem to get it right.
Yeah, it is so weird. So weird. You think that like, even if they just rolled the cameras for like 2 hours, I reckon I'd be happier with that than what we've had so far. You know what I mean? If we were just all like sat around drinking coffee in the costumes. I'd just pretend to be Batman drinking a coffee. That'd be so good. Anyway, yeah. So speaking of Wonder Woman, like you say, one of the first panels that opened up the whole of fandom was a Wonder Woman 84 panel, which is obviously the follow-up to the first Wonder Woman movie. Did you manage to watch any of that or the advert that they threw out with it?
Yeah, I've always thought they did a bloody brilliant job with Wonder Woman.
Oh, it's amazing.
And it looks so good.
Yeah, this second one looks brilliant.
It really does.
There's a bit in the advert where she's using her lasso to ride forks of lightning through the sky. And I was just like, oh my God, they've just killed it. That has just 100% sold it for me. Again, if she did that for 2 hours, if she was just like going like round like Tarzan, oh my God, unbelievable. So that really sold it to me. So they released, they did a big full panel with all the major stars, which was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The woman who's directing it, oh my God, her name's gone out my head now. I'm gonna have to look that up because it's really gonna do my head in. But she seems so nice. I was really impressed with her. But she basically led the panel, and there were fan questions and all sorts coming out. Patty Jenkins, dumbass, can't remember her name. So she directed the first one. She's directing the second one as well. She seems amazing. She knows exactly what she's doing. She absolutely killed it with the first one. The second one looks like it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, and the bits I've seen from the trailers of the second one,
yeah,
honest to God, it's probably everything we've just spoke about now, the thing I'm looking forward to the most.
I think I'd agree
because
with that.
It's definitely the one thing they seem to just, and the character that they've seemed to be getting absolutely bang on.
Yeah, exactly. They've got her absolutely perfect as well, and they've got the other characters as well. So they announced that Kristen Wiig is playing the main bad guy, and she's playing a character called Cheetah, who is like a massive, very famous arch villain of Wonder Woman. So it was a little bit like, I was a bit worried about her as an actress because I'd never seen her in a role like that before. I was a bit worried about how they're going to do the character because she actually looks like a fucking cheetah in the comic books. She looks like a sexy cheetah with like stands upright. She's got furry boobs and stuff. She looks absolutely amazing, and she's well had. The advert showed us a lot more of her, and it looks amazing. So it looks like it starts off as her basically just like getting stronger and taking on the traits of a cheetah, and then in the ad it showed a bit like, obviously that was later on in the movie, and they've done it fully. They've gone like full comic book version of her, and it looks absolutely incredible. And Kristen Wiig looks like she's done an amazing job in the film, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah, honestly, it does. And do you know what? I think we should post the trailer because it generally does. Everyone needs to see it. You know, everyone needs to. We really need to hype this film up because it needs more credit where it's due. Actually, I know no one that's seen the actual film yet. I know trailers can be deceiving, but I generally believe that they've not got this wrong.
Yeah,
it looks too good.
Yeah, it kind of annoys me a little bit because today, again, like I say, I watched Batman versus Superman today, and she says that she left humanity behind for 100 years. So obviously, like, she was supposed to have left after the first movie and then just ignored humanity. But then in 1984, she was obviously back again, lying bitch. It's just little shitty little bits like that that really, really make my ass twinge. Yeah. But it looks great. They brought back all the components from the first movie as well. It was really good. So her fella, what was his name? Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, who was absolutely brilliant in the first one. Having such like a strong male lead like that, and having it so he doesn't in any way, shape, or form overshadow the main female lead, but is also not like hidden in the background and disrespected and like, because it's tempting like that. So this is like, obviously it's a major girl power movie, this, isn't it? It'd be really, really tempting for him to do the kind of thing that they did with like the Ghostbusters remake, which was put all the women front and center. Then if you watch that Ghostbusters remake again, every single guy in it is an asshole or a moron. That's it. There are no good male characters in that whole movie. So it's basically putting the women front and center, then having the like guys be pricks. And it's like, well, that did happen to women characters, but years and years and years ago, you couldn't get away with doing it in a movie. Now we've moved on. I understand kind of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to do with it, but that's not now. It's not anymore. You couldn't really do that. and this in the first Wonder Woman film, they really smashed it. They got that balance absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah, they did, absolutely. It's so enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Do
Really
you know
enjoy
what?
it's one.
My only gripe with that film is I wish it had have ended before like the end boss fight. So it's all about she basically comes to Earth to find Ares. Spoilers if you haven't watched it. Ares, the god of war, who and it's during World War One, isn't it? So
Yeah.
obviously the thing is like her boyfriend at the time, the guy that she meets there, he's basically saying it's just men, it's just humans being horrible to other humans. There's no god of war there or anything along those lines. And it goes all the way through the movie looking like it's going to be that. Then at the very end, it turns around and it does turn out to be this god of war, doesn't it? And then as soon as she beats him, the war finishes. I was like, oh man, I wish they hadn't have done that. I wish they'd have just like teased him for the second one. Do you know what I mean? If they'd have like had it so she learnt a lesson that humans are trash and that it was nothing to do with the gods, that humans are just garbage, I think I'd have liked that a little bit more. But apart from that, it's a pretty perfect movie.
You always have something, don't you?
I always do, mate. Yeah, but because I do like so much writing, especially at the minute. There's always little things like that I wish I could change.
No, I was quite content with the end of the film. It done me because I don't look too much into it. You see,
yeah.
I just kind of sit back and watch, and I go, yeah, that was all right, that was fine. I don't think too much about the actual.
Unless it's aliens and you're trying to upset me, then you don't really think too much about it. You son of a bitch. Oh, funny. So that's it. Like you said, I think I'm looking forward to that the most. The second movie is going to be
100%.
Absolutely brilliant. So I think that about wraps it up. I don't think I forgot anything that they announced or mentioned there. We'll share a bunch of links when we post this video and we share it over to the Facebook group. We'll put a bunch of links on there. We're kind of playing catch up this week, so I think this is going to go online Tuesday. But I think there's probably going to be like a video every day from us this week because we're playing catch up with reviews and other bits of different shit that we want to do for you. So there's something for you to look forward to. But besides that, we're pretty much done. Give us a like, give us a subscribe on all the social medias. If you want to watch the videos, then they're all on YouTube. We share them on Facebook, everywhere else. You can also get them on IGTV. That's started working for me again, so I've been uploading them there. Or subscribe to podcasts wherever you get your podcasts from. But I've been Jay. Thanks very much. And this has been Gaz.
Thank you.
Nice one, dude. I'll see you again.